Hi, guys. Good morning, and welcome to this week's episode of Global News Review. My name is Ola, and sorry for joining a little bit late. I had some technical issues that could not make me log in on time. But yeah, let's get with it. Today, we're going to be talking about three interesting news from global, African, and Nigeria. From the global markets, Africa, and Nigeria, and how they affect your pockets, what you should be doing, and if this is your vibe, please subscribe to this channel, hit notification button, and stick with us. Yes, you are welcome. Now, the first news. What are we doing on the first news? The first news is pretty much from the United States. Crypto Week. This week was Crypto Week, right? And what was that about? Basically, the Congress of the United States, actually, the Congress had a couple of bills they needed to review in the past week, and it all had to do with cryptocurrency. So we know that cryptocurrency, as an asset class, has been, for lack of a better word, disrespected. Let me use that word. Where older people just feel like, what's this noise that these young people are talking about? It's going to take us over. Let's fight it. Let's block it, right? But over time, we have seen that there has been more and more adoption of cryptocurrency. And when I say adoption, it also means that there has been more and more regulation. There have been people going to jail around cryptocurrency, But in this last week, there were three bills that were being in review, that were reviewed actually, and there are three critical bills. The first one I'll talk about is the bill that would stop the United States from printing their own or creating their own digital currency. Right? That's the first one. The second one is a bill to guide stable coins. And the third one is a bill that clearly defines who is going to be regulating what in the cryptocurrency space, whether it's the SEC or whoever, right? Those are three significant bills that were put forth in the last week. Right now, why is this significant? Because what it is saying is that it's creating a framework, a legal framework, right, for institutional investors to go into cryptocurrency in its different forms and expressions. Now, why is that important? Because even in the stock market and in the debt market, is institutional funds that pushes the market forward. So you would see that that Bitcoin, for example, crossed 120K in the past 1 week. Why? Because it's getting more and more obvious that cryptocurrency or digital currency, in whatever form it will be, is here to stay. Now, once these bills are passed into law, it becomes significant, especially the one that says that America cannot create a digital currency, or they are blocking the ability of the feds to create a digital currency like e-naira that we have in Nigeria, right? And China also has their own version, right? So, but what are we saying, right? If you have been someone who has looked with disdain at cryptocurrency or the whole ecosystem, right? Not just the currency, but crypto in its different forms, right? You need to have a rethink on it. And why? I have said this so many times. The fact is, we started with trade by barter, we moved to gold, we moved to money backed by gold, then we now move to paper, money backed by trust. The fact is that as the world has gone into the digital existence or into a digital existence, there is no way, no way that we would avoid having money in its digital form, like e-naira. Those things, they're actually very valid and forward thinking, and maybe even present thinking, right? Because the world has really moved. So big ups to everyone in the cryptocurrency space who stayed with it when everybody was looking at them like, yeah, what's happening here? No vex, yes, but the world is catching up, and I think there's a massive case for digital currency, like I've explained. But so if you're not in that space, if you're in that space in any way, shape, or form, or let me put it like this: if you are 50, in your 50s or below, and technically you have around 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years left on this earth, all things being equal, then you need to be thinking around cryptocurrency, digital currency. You need to be positioning yourself somewhere around it, and also around AI, because those two things are here to stay. Now, I want to hear your thoughts. Are you in the crypto space? What are your thoughts around it? What are your fears? What are your concerns? Blah blah blah. Let me have it in the comment section, or chat with me. I can see it live and I'll respond. Now, up to the next news. Okay, before I talk about the next news, we actually have, let me see if I can pop it up. Hi, Anna. clarity checklist that if you are someone that's trying to put your finances in order, right? And you know you earn well, but you know you're not just getting it right when it comes to money, then you need to get this checklist and just see what am I doing right? What are the gaps? These are the things I need to fill, that kind of thing. Very straightforward, very to the point, and it is free. So download it. Link will also be in description if you want to. If you are listening from YouTube, anyways. But yeah, I'm moving on to the next news. Let me see captions. The next news is going to be yes, Africa. Africa, Africa, Africa. So Kenya has said, okay, all African countries apart from two. No shade. Don't hate the player, hate the game. All African countries apart from two, which I will mention, can come into Kenya without anything. Just buy your tickets and come. You're very welcome. And I think it is absolutely the way to go. Like literally the way to go. Because tell me, why are we paying for a visa to go to Kenya? Like why do people have to, why do Africans have to struggle to enter Nigeria? Why, like, what are we trying to do? What is the bigger picture, right? The fact is, if as Kenya has announced this and it becomes implemented, right? If Nigeria is stressful, I wanted to go on a holiday in Nigeria. Nigeria is stressful to get their visa. It seems like a long process, or it costs you a lot. $300. How much is ticket? Just buy ticket from somewhere and keep it moving and go to where it's not stress. Do you understand? So this is something that I think every African country should adopt. It makes all the sense in the world. While we are trying to create an ecosystem for ourselves, there's the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. There's the African Union trying to do things. There's a lot because all the big brothers are trying to solve their own problems. Like we just have to wake up and respect that they actually have a right to wake up and decide that they want to solve their problems. And we have massive population. And so if we can make things as easy and and as cheap as possible and just let money begin to flow around, you will be shocked how the economies of African countries will gradually rise. In it's almost as long as there's security. I mean, that's the major thing. Political stability, security. Once you have those things in place and things are affordable, you will just see how things will naturally pick up. Literally, right? It was the same way when Dubai first opened up and you just needed to submit something to get your visa. What everybody just said, what's the easy place to go to? Dubai, let's go. Right? It's the same logic. And it's also important to understand that economy is about money flowing, not money staying in one place. That's why it's called currency, right? So when an African country does something like this, I think it's noteworthy. I think it also aligns with the general vibe that Kenya is trying to give. When I say vibe, I mean they are PR, for lack of a better word, is that they are welcoming everyone. They are here. They are the place to invest in. They are the ones that everyone should think about when you think about Africa. When you think about East Africa, right? But it makes sense. Oh, I forgot to mention the two countries that they said no. Let's screen you first. It's Somalia and Libya, and it's obvious. So they've had issues with Al Shabaab in the past. So it's one of those things where they're like, okay, you're not so far from us. Let's stem the tide. Let's not get ourselves into trouble. So those two countries have security issues, political slash security issues, and they're like, okay, we don't know. We need to clear you before you can come in, which is fair, right? And it just also tells us, because the first instinct is, they just open their border like that. But obviously, they're thinking and they're looking at their risk. Their major risk in Kenya has been Al Shabaab, right? And the Somalian crisis, right? So, them putting that like in a box and saying, you know what, let's not even have to expose ourselves to this. Let's not have a security crisis on the back of this move. It makes a lot of sense, right? So, I give it up to the Kenyan government. As much as the locals are struggling, because I mean there's been the protests, there's been all those things. The way it is generally is that it's almost like chicken and egg, which one will go first? If you say you want to subsidize for the people, blah 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 blah, and they are happy, it is fine and it is good. However, in the long run, you will find that you still keep going through that cycle. But someone has to actually bite the bullet, which is the painful part. But then when you're biting the bullet, don't go and be buying expensive bags and shoes, right? let's not digress. However, someone has to bite the bullet to actually lay the social, economic, and security infrastructure that would support sustained economic growth. And I think that those are the things that the Kenyan government is actually trying to do. But if you're a local and you're hungry, or it's not working, it's frustrating, right? Because it's actually long term. It's a long term game. I also believe that there should be a middle ground. You can't just do long term to the point where people that are existing right now are choked. But yes, you get the point. Big ups to Kenya. Pray that other African countries follow suit because it's actually laudable. Now, the next thing I want to highlight in terms of what's happening. Hey, somebody's saying hi. All roads lead to Nairobi. Yes, all roads lead to Nairobi. And I mean, for us in the Money Week Club, right? Of course, these sessions are powered by the Money Week Club, and our logo is right there. For us in the Money Week Club, it's practically exciting. And I think it just highlights the what's it called, the thing about investing. Like, you know that an opportunity is viable, you bite the bullet and you jump into it, but you don't really know how good it's going to be. Why? Because I mean, we went into property development in Nairobi in 2022, 2023 into 2024. So we literally just closed on those deals last year. And then all of a sudden, it just felt like at the point where we did, like, okay, Kenya looks like it's stable. Let's just see. The price points are good. Literally, the prices for those same properties, right? If you want to go into them right now, it's almost like 2-3 times. And I think the same thing is also happening in Nigeria, even though Nigeria's currency slide just sort of puts an X to that in a way. But for Nairobi, for Kenya generally, like, the prices have significantly gone up, and that's the nature of investing. You never really know. It's also on the other side where sometimes you never really know that it will go bad. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Amen. Yeah. So yes, sessions are powered by the Money with Club. The Money with Club is one of the expressions of the Money with Circle, where we have the club, we have the school, and then we have media. And basically what we are doing is helping you put your finances in order, giving you money with. And in line with that, giving you money with, we have a free, what's it called? Let me see if I can pop it up here. Um, we have a webinar, a free webinar for parents, right? On how to support your ward that is somewhere between 16 and 21 in financial education, in actually know how to manage their finances, in actually putting their finances in the right buckets, right? So it's the barcode is on the screen. You can scan it. I just found out that you can actually scan the barcode from your device at the same time. I used to wonder how people used to do it, but yes, find out like me. You can scan the barcode while you're watching on your phone or whatever device, or the link is in the description if you're watching from YouTube. But long and short, like, the goal of this, and I sorry, I dropped off. I believe I should be back now. Yes, the parents webinar. Apologies for that technical issue based on location. But yeah, has faith faith is one of the reasons why I decided to go that route. Frozen video, yes, I'm back. Sorry, I I chose to go that route. If it not puts a value or a faith angle to finances for them, all they are looking at, they're thinking about is how to buy the biggest car, how to, and it just becomes a vanity troll, right? And so they just from one thing to another, right? So it has a faith inclination. I'm a Christian, so it's Bible. There's a lot of Bible in it. But check it out. It is actually quite instructive how you would help your child get the right foundation when it comes to financial education. So we avoid things like I wish I, yeah, you know, those things that you I could have started earlier. Yeah, go and watch that scan. Oh, I see someone is scanning. Well done. Okay, I'll leave it up for other people to take up later. And then moving on to the final news of today. Yes, I love this one. And there's been so much conversation in the Money with Club on this. GTCO just learned naira in on the Nigerian stock exchange. Like, if you're watching Nigerian stock market, like it has gone. And then there are a lot of people just watching and like, oh my god, isn't it too late? Isn't it too late? Isn't it too late? Someone sent me a message recently, like 2-3 months ago, and was like, oh, that's why our Nigerian banking stocks trading below their book value. Now let me explain. Imagine you come into a okay, no, someone comes to you and says it costs 100 naira to build a house, right? It costs 100 naira to build a house. In terms of the materials, everything, right? That's the actual cost. So give me 100 naira. I give you 100 naira. But you know that you can pay that person 100 naira, but the person will like, no, you still need to top up. Why? Because I'm going to put my effort into building, right? You get that logic. Now, when they say book value is actually the cost of building that house. That means the cost of the cement, cost of the this, cost of the that, cost of the that, right? The actual cost that you can quantify. But there's a cost also that you can't quantify, which is the effort, which is the oh, I'm an experienced builder. I have to certify this. I am an award-winning architect. I made this, I made that, right? All those things that should actually be added as premium. Hmm? So when you see a Nigerian bank that has presence across Africa, it has presence in the UK, and then you see that it's trading below book value, understand something. It's either the company has problems, one, and that's what the market is saying. The company does not trust what they are seeing in the numbers, or it is grossly undervalued. Just understand that. Why? Because at the minimum, they have clients, they have customers. You know that if you want to strip GTB and say, okay, I want to shut down GTB, you can actually sell its client list, sell its technology, you can sell its network. And those are assets that you might not be able to put a numerical value. Now, why am I laying this foundation? Because there's something in finance about where you are saying is a stock undervalued, is it overvalued, or is it valued properly? Is it at fair value? Most Nigerian banks have been trading below book value in terms of their price in the market, and it's because people have not been buying stocks. The currency has been a major focus things. And if you compare it to the size of banks in standard in South Africa, right? The the big boy will be like, why is GTB valued like this? Why in dollar terms GTB is so cheap, so cheap? And so the reason why offshore investors will not come in is because of the currency drama. So GTB just made the bold move, right? Okay, you want to get access, you want to get a piece of the pie. Let's go to London. We've done it before. Let's do it again. What does that do? It gives offshore investors exposure to GTB without having to bring their currency into the country. Now, what does that tell? And they were successful. It was a successful outing. Totally. Then what we have seen post that is that the last time blinking, GTB was at 80. I've blinked, GTB is at 100. And the question is it too late? Should I jump in? Now, I always answer that question with this. On a trader, the stock market is long term. I literally have Zenith Bank is at 70 something naira. I bought Zenith Bank at 9 naira during the lockdown. 9 naira, yeah, 9 naira, 10 naira during the lockdown. What do you think? Is that not the kind of thing you say is retirement money? But when I did that, I was not thinking about the lockdown. I was not thinking about that moment. I was thinking, this company is going nowhere. This thing that is happening is not going to be the end of the world. Even in banking transactions, right? It even favors them to even shut down some branches because everybody's forced to go virtual. So what did I do? The stocks MTN at 90 naira. I still remember some of those premium stocks on the exchange. You have cash, I just bought. Now think about where these stocks are. MTN has cost 400 naira. What am I saying? To the scared person listening, to the person that is talking about 2007, 2008 as the reason why they still don't buy stocks till today, I understand you. I understand you, but you have a future. That's all I can say. So there, I'm going to do. I actually, my team gave me feedback. Some people had requested for. I had said I was going to do a session on breaking down, what's it called, what happened in 2008, and just making people understand what happened, why it happened. Just to have a frame and not just feel like your money just disappeared, right? Oh, power. Don't just feel like your money just disappeared, right? Um, but long and short, we're going to do that. But while we're at it, just baby steps. Baby steps are actually the way. Baby steps are actually the way. Even if you put 10K, you will be happy right now. And you'll feel like, oh, I don't know. You will understand the market better. Right? Does anybody any comments on this? Or you're just thinking, yeah, I've lost money. But anyways, don't forget, you can't outsource your health and your finances. You can't blame 2008 for the reason why you're not investing in stocks. Wherever you are in the world, the stock market is the largest wealth generator. There was this piece by was it Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, and he was talking about, oh, you see that I made money, but he now computed the amount of value he had created for shareholders who are doing their everyday jobs just by believing in the company. So you have to think long and break the generational patterns, break the generational patterns, and actually take decisions that will help in the future. Of course, if you're a member of the Money with Club, you would have seen the extensive discussions, the questions, the fears, body accountability. Someone should hold me accountable. I need to start this thing. I'm afraid. So if you're in the Money with Club, you'll be loving it right now. I'll see you guys next week. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Bye.